today I'm going to take you through the step-by-step guide of each exercise you need to nail to eventually smash the pull-up.
Now, you're never going to be able to do a pull-up if you can't hold your own body weight off of a bar. So we are starting off with the classic dead hang. We're just getting used to holding onto the bar, gripping the bar, and using our body weight to focus and improve on our grip. Because obviously, as you're doing a pull-up, you also need to be able to hold your weight the entire time. So dead hangs are going to be the place to start. If your hands are feeling really painful, you're going to want to reach for gloves or for straps. Don't do it, because we're trying to actually improve your grip, and straps will help your grip so much that it's not really improving as much. Instead, if you are really struggling with some grip, reach for chalk. Now, I use a chalk that I use for pole dancing, but you can use any chalk. I do like a specific type of chalk which has glycerin in it, which means that you get a little bit of tack as well. Again, I use that because I use it for pole dancing, but it just does give you a little bit of stick instead of just drying out your hands. After you've nailed the dead hang, you're able to do a few sets, at least getting above 20 or up to 30 seconds. You can start moving into active hangs and scapular pull-ups. So active hangs are just the exact same as your dead hang, but shoulders pushing away from your ears. So just making sure there's space between your shoulders and ears, and then still just holding and hanging. Now, if you've never ever done any type of scapular isolation, what you could try and start off with is scapular push-ups. So you can do these in a push-up position, and you're just focusing on squeezing your scapula and shoulder blades together and then pushing the floor away. Again, focusing on the arms staying straight and just moving the scapula and those shoulder blades. Now, if you are struggling to do this in a full push-up, just drop your knees and do the same thing. Note that when I say scapula or shoulder blades, I mean basically the same thing, so don't worry if you're confused. And you can also try and do this on your forearms as well if you're struggling on your hands, just focusing on that isolation of the shoulder blades, squeezing them together and then pushing them away. You can also practice some scapular decompression. So you will jump up to a bar that's set kind of at the height of your shoulders, and you're just going to, again, shoulders up into the ears, shoulders down and away, shoulders up into the ears, shoulders down and away. This time we're basically doing the reverse of what a scapular push-up is and focusing on the pushing away instead of the pulling up. But again, it's a good way to learn about isolating your scapula and your shoulder blades, and will also help kind of improve your posture and overall strength too. We then have what I like to call elbow kinks. Now, it's not having a kink for elbows, but if you do, then more power to you. But it is about now just starting to think about the movement in the arms. All you're going to do is go into your active hang, pushing your shoulders down, and think about somebody just punching the inside of your elbow. Sometimes people get really good at scapular pulls and really good at active hangs, but as soon as they start learning the pull-up, they just suddenly forget that they need to keep their shoulders down. And that's when we get what I call the ugly pull-up. If you do not get very good at scapular pulls or active hangs, and you don't get good at learning to hold your shoulders down whilst your arms move, you will have the ugly pull-up. Next up, we have the assisted barbell pull-up. Now, you can also do assisted pull-ups on the assisted pull-up machine. Eventually, you will get too light on that, where it feels a bit awkward and the machine isn't really helping you that much. So these barbell ones are a great place to start. Now, the lower you set the barbell down, the easier this is going to be. You can also use a Smith machine, and slowly you want to raise it up, raise it up, raise it up, higher and higher. You're going to sit underneath the bar and really make sure you are stacked. So you want the bar above you, then you want your head, your chest and your bum, everything stacked in a nice smooth line. The further away you start moving your legs, the harder this is going to get, and the closer you have your legs, the easier. So start with them close, nice and tucked under you, with the bar not too high, and just focusing on doing a pull-up. Pull yourself up, get that chin over the bar, and then remember, control yourself back down. Once you have nailed it, you can do a few sets of up to 8 to 10 reps. Try and start slowly moving that bar higher and higher and higher, and start moving your legs further and further away. Just be sure as you do this that you don't let your chest drop down and make this into a row. We don't want the chest to drop down to be in line with your hips, and keep raising this higher and higher, and still getting that chin above the bar. This is really going to get you used to what it's going to feel like to pull your own body weight, and don't forget about that scapula, and don't let your hips start thrusting first. We then have banded pull-ups. So now we're getting a bit more assistance. Now, in my opinion, banded pull-ups are a lot better than the pull-up machine because it does emulate an actual pull-up a lot more realistically. So banded pull-ups, you can do them in so many different ways. You can just tie a band around wherever you're doing your pull-ups and pop your knee in and then go for there, starting with a quite thick, strong band and then slowly going into a lighter, thinner band. You can also do them at the squat rack, which I much prefer. The reason I prefer this is you can slowly lower the band, lower, until it's hardly giving you any help. Whereas when you tie it around the top, it means you can't really make it any easier or harder without changing the entire band you're using. So with the squat rack, you can just set this up by pulling it over the squat rack little hooks and then putting one foot on, putting one foot underneath, setting those hands, and off you go. You can also pop your knee on if you have the band a lot higher, but I would recommend trying to do it with your foot on instead, because this is going to again emulate an actual pull-up a lot more accurately. We don't bend our knees in a pull-up, so anytime you can stay away from having the knees bent is ideal. You should hopefully find the bottom of the rep not to be the most difficult part, and probably getting your chin over that bar into the top is now the hardest. So let's work on it. You can set the bar as high or low as you want, depending on how difficult you want to have to make your jump up, but I'd recommend just setting it just above your eye line, going up onto your tiptoes or using a little step or box to help get you up there. But get yourself into the top of the pull-up and lift the legs off and hold. Try and squeeze and hold. Remember, shoulders down, don't let them come up into your ears. Once you're getting quite good at those, we now want to start doing some eccentrics. So exact same setup, we're going to jump to the top and then you're going to lower, slow, all the way to the bottom. Doing this, you will need to bend your knees at some stage so you don't whack your feet on the floor. So be aware that as you slowly lower down, you'll need to start bending your legs so that you don't whack yourself. And you're trying to go as slow as possible, remembering what's that key factor? Keep the shoulders down and away from your ears. Again, slow as possible whilst trying to keep that good form and trying to keep your core strong so you're not swinging too much. And then you're good to go. It's time to combine it all together, doing a dead hang, then a scapular pull-up, and then into that pull-up all the way, the pause at the top, the slow on the way down, and starting from the beginning. It's now just practicing the bits that you find the hardest and then just continue to start combining all of it together.
And that is it, guys. By the time you've been through every one of these stages in the video, you are going to be doing pull-ups like an absolute pro. I cannot wait to hear how you get along. Let me know what stage you are at and be sure to DM me videos as well. I'll always be happy to give you tips and tricks on anything that you are trying to achieve. If there's other movements that you really want to nail down and you want my advice on, drop them in the comments below and I'll be happy to make a video on those as well. For now, be sure to subscribe to see plenty more videos like this and give it a thumbs up if this was somewhat helpful on your pull-up journey. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!